Wow. I mean, we are witnessing some unbelievable shit. Like sometimes you live too much, just wanting more and more and more, and you just don't appreciate it. Like this. This is some remarkable ass shit that we are getting right now from Aaron Judge, from Juan Soto. These two pair of teammates are. You could make a good case. You could make a damn good case that they're the two best baseball players to ever team up. You could make that case. I wouldn't argue with you. Let's get to it. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. You are listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. Let's get to it.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
The Yankees are champions of baseball. Shaking and baking right here on the neophyte.
You're trying to close the show.
She was doing a great job of feeding.
That is
It's
it.
over.
Oh, see ya. 3,000 history for the next
Tell me that's so shaky. Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks?
Game over. World Series over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
The Yankees win. Should have swept, but they won. Welcome to the show, everybody. Episode 704 of the podcast. I appreciate you all tuning in to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. Man, are we talking New York Yankees in this episode? Two consecutive series wins for the Bombers. They almost didn't. I mean, it got a little scary there after game 2. And then you start today's game, and it doesn't look like it's going to get off to a good start. It's a little hairy in the beginning, and then it's a little too close until late, which we'll talk about. But thank God for Juan Soto. Little cushion. Thank God for Aaron Judge. And now the Yankees, as we sit here and record Sunday night, August 25th at 11:30 p.m., the Yankees are 77-44 on the season, a .588 win percentage, which has them in first place in the American League East by a game and a half. They are a game and a half up on Baltimore, because about an hour ago maybe, Baltimore just took a loss to Houston in a pretty good game. Houston was up 3-0. Then they gave it all up on a 3-run bomb. Forget who it was to. But then Bregman and Diaz go back-to-back with home runs. And Houston eventually ends up winning 6-3. So they beat the Orioles, and that puts the Yankees up ahead of the Orioles a game and a half with the chance to do more, which we'll get into more later on in the show. Let's talk, man. Let's talk. There's a lot to go over. A lot of in-house situations going on right now. Jazz Chisholm is back. He's back. He returned this series, played third base. He looked fine at the plate. He looked good in the field. He made some sharp plays. Had a couple errors today in the first inning. One of them can be charged to DJ LeMahieu, but he looked good. Anthony Rizzo is making his way back in 2 games with Somerset. He's 0 for 4, a couple of walks. He DH'd in game 1, did not play Saturday, and then played today, Sunday. Continues to rehab. John Birdie began his rehab this past weekend as well. He is so far 2 for 5 with a 3-run home run across 2 games. He did not play on Friday. Something happened where they lost his luggage. He DH'd on Saturday, and he played the field today. Michael Tonkin was DFA'd. this is with, guys in the bullpen, guys in the field returning. So Tonkin was one of the guys who they considered expendable, and they DFA'd him. Phil Bickford is up for now until one of the returning guys comes back. I thought it was curious. I was a little confused as to why they chose Tonkin to DFA. He was a big part of the pen for a while there. When the Yankees were struggling on that stretch mid-June to mid-July, Tonkin was, a big key to that. He was eating innings. He was helping them stay in games, and, he was holding leads in some high-leverage spots for them. He became one of their better relievers. I know he'd been really bad in the second half. He hasn't been as great. He's had some really tough outings lately, but I was a little surprised that they kept one of the guys in a pretty underwhelming bullpen who's been reliable for them to a degree. Especially with guys like Tim Meza, nothing special, he's a guy who has options. But I'm guessing they wanted the left-handed pitcher in there. I don't know. But he's gone. So thank you, Michael Tonkin. I appreciated what you brought. Very curious. Clark Schmidt working his way back. 3 2/3 innings on Friday. 1 run, 6 strikeouts, 46 pitches thrown. So they're working him back with Somerset. Maybe one more before he's ready. Ian Hamilton threw an inning on Saturday. No runs, 3 strikeouts. So he's also working his way back. Scott Efros is chilling in Scranton-Wilkes-Barre. He's been there for a while. Apparently, they're not calling him up because the Yankees aren't liking what they're seeing on the stat sheets, like the underlying numbers. If you go to his, peripherals, they don't like the fastball velo, the slider. They say it hasn't been looking as crisp. So that's why he's down there, despite being on a bit of a heater lately. I haven't heard anything on Nick Birdy and Lou Trevino. I don't know what's going on there, to be honest. Cody Poteet threw earlier with Somerset today. He threw 3 2/3, allowed 1 run, and struck out 3. And then Jason Dominguez is on fire, which we'll also talk about him. So it's getting interesting, man. It's going to be interesting come September, which is in just a few days now. It's the 25th as I'm recording. September 1st is next Sunday. So a week from now, you're going to get that roster crunch, where you're going to have to figure out who's squeezing in and who's going to be cut off the roster, because you're allowed 2 more additional. You're allowed 28 guys, but in terms of pitchers, it's going to be interesting. You look at the Yankee bullpen right now, and the relief pitchers that you could consider expendable, guys who could probably and will probably be gone, there are like 4 guys who you could probably point at and say, this is a guy who's probably going to be off the roster when so-and-so returns in the bullpen. And that's Tim Hill, Tim Meza, Phil Bickford, and Will Warren, right? Those 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. Tim Hill, I'm unsure how many options he has, but it's Tim Hill. They just, they picked him up off the scrap heap. He can go right back on it if they want to bring back one of their guys. Tim Meza has at least 1 option, I know. Phil Bickford's going to be gone soon. He's just temporary. And Will Warren, right? Obviously, he's not ready for the big leagues. That's clear. And he's most likely going to be gone soon for Schmidt. But, yeah, like come September 1st, you can only carry 14 pitchers on the roster. 28 players, no more or less. And you can't carry more than 14 pitchers. So if you want to kind of narrow it down, the core of starting pitchers on this roster are going to consist of what? Cole, Heel, Rodon, Stroman, Cortez, Schmidt. That's 6. You have your probable core of relief pitchers. Let's say the guys the Yankees are going to keep in their bullpen no matter what: Leiter, Cousins, Weaver, Holmes, and Cantley. Right, those 5. Mark Leiter, that was their biggest trade deadline acquisition on deadline day. And I know he has not been good, but I don't see the Yankees cutting bait with him because they love his peripherals. They got him because he's a big swing and miss guy. You go on his Savant page, all the stuff says that he's going to help them out. I'm not saying I agree with that, but that's why they have him. I don't think they're going to cut bait that quickly with him, as bad as he's been. And then Cousins and Luke Weaver, they've become vital pieces to your bullpen. They're not going anywhere. And then obviously Holmes and Canley obviously are staying around. So that's going to leave, as of, September 1st, let's say Heal's back, that's going to leave 3 spots, right? You got 5 relievers, 6 starters that we named, and then you're leaving 3 spots before you get up to 14. And that's 3 spots to pick between Efros, Hamilton, Nick Birdy, Lou Trevino, and Cody Poteet. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do. Who's going to go, who's going to stay. And then you also got to look at the position players on this roster, because as I said, Anthony Rizzo's returning soon. You have to think the move there is going to be pretty straightforward. You have to think with how bad he's been for the Yankees, Ben Rice is going to be the one that gets the boot. Rizzo for Rice straight up. But you are allowed 2 September call-ups. No more, no less. So I think we're all hoping to see Jason. And you look at the expendables among the position play. I think you have 3 guys who are DFA-able. And that's Verdugo, LeMahieu, and Grisham. Right? I don't think Cabrera has to stay. He's been good for them. And he has to find playing time. And then you want to call up the Martian. I think you can't. Man, I'm going to be so pissed off if they just let him rot down there in September. And then they just put him on the October run. That would be such a screwed up thing to do. He's on fire right now, too, by the way. He struggled. When he came back from the injury the second time, he struggled in his first 13 games with Scranton Wilkes-Barre. But in 10 games since then, with the Rail Riders, he's batting .415. This includes today, with the .478 on-base percentage, a .610 slugging, which gives him a .1088 OPS. So he's been hot. So I think at the very, very, very frigging worst, the Yankees have to promote the Martian as a call-up in September. I don't know if they want to do it before then because they're going to have to use a roster spot and, they don't want to DFA Verdugo or DJ or Grisham. So they'll probably wait until September to use one of those 2 spots. What I'm hoping they don't do is promote John Birdy as a call-up and there's no more spots for Dominguez. That would really bother me. So I think the Yankees, man, I'd be really, really disappointed if Jason Dominguez wasn't a regular part of this team come September. Let me just put that there. And I also want to see the other young guys play. It's time to start getting serious. We're in the middle of a pennant race. Cabrera and Wells, they have to stay and play. If Rizzo comes back and he's doing the same thing he was doing in the first half, he's not hitting. And LeMahieu is continuing to be LeMahieu. And Torres isn't hitting. Those 3 guys can't be playing at the expense of Cabrera. So if Cabrera's got to play third base, second base, first, teach him first base one day. Do it. Let him do it. He must be somewhere every day. Logically, there's no reason you can't do that. He's hitting. He's swinging a hot bat. In his last 27 games, 22 with plate appearances, he's batting .318 with a .485 slugging and just a 14% K rate. He's been good. He can slug a fastball. He can handle off speed. He's just good vibes, good energy. His defense has been fine. He's been really positive for the Yankees for a while. He should be getting everyday at-bats. Yet he's still not. And then you look at catcher, and it's still continuing to bother me, man. I'm trying to be reasonable, but, like, I don't think you can play Trevino at the expense of Wells. Trevino's mediocrity versus left-handed pitching is not enough for a 25-year-old lefty to sit. How is Austin Wells going to learn to hit lefty pitching? And, you know, you can rebuttal with, well, the Yankees are in a tight division race. They can't afford to be playing that game right now. Like, it's not enough, though, to be like, that's not enough of a sample size, Austin Wells versus left-handed pitching, for me to say he's not been hitting lefty pitching. It's a sample of 56 plate appearances for Wells in his career against lefty pitch. That's not enough for me to say he can't hit lefties. So let's, like, he can have a stretch for a week where he's lukewarm against lefty pitching, and all of a sudden those numbers look good. I think he needs to play. I think it's inexcusable at this point in the season. The Yankees have played 131 games. Austin Wells has started in just 56% of them. I think that's inexcusable, especially with Jose Trevino being on the DL for a month at one point. That can't happen. You look at Adley Rutschman. Adley's played in 87% of the Baltimore Orioles' games. You look at the Royals. 100-year-old Sal Perez has started in 97% of their games, either at first base, catcher, or DH. And again, you look at those positions. The Yankees aren't getting production from first. Give Austin Wells a glove. Stop acting like it's the toughest thing in the world to do. They're not getting much production from Trevino at catcher. Stanton's hurt a lot. He sits a lot anyway. You know, you could find more than 56% for Austin Wells. There's no reason Austin Wells should be starting less than 85% of the time. We are in late August, and I'm getting a little tired of the Yankees being married to splits. How can you claim that winning is top priority when you continually rest and platoon productive players for those who haven't performed 131 games in? So that's I wanted to get all of that out of the way before we dive into this series. Wish the Yankees took 2 out of 3. So we will do that as soon as we return here from break. We'll be back in a few seconds.
Hey there. Thanks for listening in so far. If you enjoy this episode, please give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much.
Welcome back to the show. Episode 704 of the podcast. I appreciate you all tuning in to BD4. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. Let's get into this series. The Yankees took 2 out of 3 against the Colorado Rockies in the Bronx this past weekend. Game 1 was the 3-0 victory from the Yankees. You had the lefty Rodon versus the lefty Freeland. Really bad pitcher. But the Yankee bats mustered up just 3 runs on 5 hits, 3 extra base hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. They grounded into a double play, and they were 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Freeland actually didn't look that bad against the Yankees. They only scored 3 runs on him in 6 2/3 innings. Bottom of the first, they wasted an opportunity early with runners on first and second, no outs. Torres had the leadoff double. Soto draws a walk. Judge lines into a double play on the ground. Didn't make any sense there. Grounds into a double play. It was a hard grounder. And then Stanton flies out. But they finally get on the board in the 4th inning, and it's Stanton with the solo home run. 1-0, bottom 5. Torres gets a run across off of fielder's choice. Ryan McMahon makes an E5. Boots a ball off the tip of his glove, and it's 2-0 Yankees. And then bottom 6, Aaron Judge goes deep for a solo home run. This was number 49 at the time. Makes it 3-zip Yankees. And then against the Colorado bullpen, the Yankees scored no runs on Criswell in the inning and a third that he pitched. So Torres, Judge, Stanton, and Rice all pick up a hit. Rice played over DJ in this game. This was the game where DJ took a ball to his face in the pregame. He's okay because he played the third game of this series today. Torres doubled, and then Stanton and Judge with home runs. Verdugo and Soto drew walks. Rodon won 6 innings. We will talk about his outing a little later in the show. And the bullpen won 3 innings, no runs. Weaver pitched an inning, no hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Cousins pitched an inning, no hits, 2 strikeouts. Clay Holmes got the 9th, 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, a save. And that was the first game of the series. The Yankees lost game 2 on Saturday, 9-2. This was the righty Will Warren starting against the righty Blaylock, and Warren was just awful as he's been. 3 innings, 6 runs, 5 earned runs, 7 hits, 4 of them doubles, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 76 pitches, and the loss. You know, people saying Will Warren's not ready. Will Warren's not ready. Is he not ready, or is he just bad? Like, I'm not saying, like, he's a young pitcher. I get that. I'm not even talking about the results. I'm very underwhelmed with his stuff. I think he's got underwhelming stuff. Like, the movement is okay. He's got a good breaking ball. The sweeper's nice. The 2-seamer, I guess, has some life to it. But the velo doesn't jump out at you. The location's not great. Like, the fastball early in this game was 95, 96. But it regressed down to 92, 93 later. Like, there's no stamina, there's no sustainability there. And you're just leaving mediocre fastballs, 4-seamers, 2-seamers, cutters over the heart of the plate, and they were getting beat up. The 2-seamer was put in play a lot, and then his off-speed was also over the plate. So I'm just not impressed with his stuff. So we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, like, he gets in the top of the first inning. He puts him in the hole right away. The McMahon RBI single. Top of the second, deep fly ball by Jones for a sac fly. It's 2-0. Top 3, he has a horrendous inning where he balks twice in the inning. There's a catcher's interference. You know, you have the RBI single by Doyle where he leaves a 2-seamer up. It's 3-zip. Jake Cave, former Yankee prospect, an RBI single on a cutter up and in. 4-0. And then you have a 2-seamer up and out where Jones rips a 2-run double on, and he makes it 6-0, and that's it for Will Warren after 3. The bats, 2 runs for the Yankees in this game on 5 hits. They scored 2 runs. Both of them came off Blaylock in 5 1/3 innings. They had trouble hitting his slider, especially Judge in this game. Bottom of the third, you had the Jazz Chisholm RBI double to make it 6-1, and then bottom 4 to make it 6-2. Verdugo goes deep off of a hanging curveball. But they didn't score any runs against the Colorado pen in 3 2/3. This was a game where Boone chose to sit Giancarlo Stanton. So there was that. The bullpen won 6 innings. Leiter gave them an inning and a third, gave up 1 run in the top of the 5th. Tolia, a solo home run. That was off of a sinker, middle, and it made it 7-2 Colorado. Meza pitched 2/3 of an inning, didn't allow a run, and then Michael Tonkin's final Yankee appearance, he goes an inning and 2/3, 2 runs, top of the 7th inning. Jake Cave gets him on a 2-run home run. Tonkin leaves a fastball up and out for him, 93 miles an hour. That's not going to do it. So it made it 9-2 Colorado. Tim Hill goes an inning and a third, no runs, and then Tommy Kahnle 1 inning, no runs. So that was that. The only exciting thing about Game 2 was Old Timers Day. Old Timers Day was pretty fun. There was still no game. I wish they played the games. I really do. I used to love watching. I thought it was funny. I get a kick out of it. I used to. But they haven't been playing games since COVID. But yeah, it was really cool because the 09 team was celebrated. And that's my World Series team, right? I'm 29 years old, so I don't remember the 90s very well. You know, I don't remember 2000 and then the 90s, the late 90s very well. But 2009, that was my team, man. You know, they had Jeter invited. Kind of disrespectful how Marte was able to take a mic, Damaso Marte, but Jeter never even took a mic. A-Rod did. A-Rod was up there for a few minutes. It was good that he was invited, first and foremost. That shocked me. I think A-Rod needs to hit the tanning booth because he looks very pale. You know? I don't think he's tan enough. Johnny Damon took the mic. He didn't just take the mic. Johnny Damon took a couple swigs of alcohol before he took the mic, apparently. I mean, the dude was fucking hammered up there. He was hammered. I loved at the very end, before Damon walked off, he goes on the mic in front of everybody, looking right. Oh, he's like facing right towards the Yankee dugout where Boone's in there, and Girardi's sitting there. You know, Girardi was talking on the mic a lot with Susan, and Damon goes to Girardi, I don't know how you have a job. Well, I don't know how you don't have a job right now because you're the best manager in the game still. And I loved that. I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, it was good to see all those guys. Cervelli, I loved Cervelli, man. He was a good hitter. He played with a lot of passion. This is, Italian Canadian guy. I always rooted for Cervelli. I liked Cervelli a lot. It was good to see him back. Mariano, obviously was there. But it was awesome, man. It brought me back, man. I love that 09 team. I'm not great with like history trivia and like facts, but you can ask me anything about that 2009 club and I'll probably give you a fact about it. I love that team so much. And hopefully we could say the same about this 24 team. But yeah, like that 09 team was fun, man. And it's crazy. It's crazy how it's been, however many years it's been. Damn near 15 years if we don't win since our last champion. That's crazy. But I do find it funny how, like, I also find it ironic how the same Yankees haters who criticize Yankees fans for being spoiled with their 27 championships are also the quickest ones to mock them Yankees fans for not having any championships since 09. I thought that was funny. I just thought of that randomly, and I put that down on my notes here. I thought of that during the ceremony. I was like, wow, it's been a while, but like, yeah, I don't know. It was a random thought I had. But awesome to see that 09 team. And man, Old Timers Day was cool. Game 3. Let's get to the third game this afternoon. This afternoon, the Yanks took the Sunday win 10-3. You had Stroman versus Gomber, the lefty. Stroman won 5 innings, allowed 3 runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 97 pitches. He struggled early, top of the first inning. He walked the leadoff batter, Blackman. You don't want to do that. And then he lets up a single to Tovar, and then that's when Jazz Chisholm makes the E5. That one was more on the Mayhew. Good first baseman gets that ball, 100%. So now you got runners on first and third, nobody out. And then Doyle with the RBI ground out as the Yankees are slow to turn the double play. The call's overturned, so he's not out at first. And a run also scores, so Colorado's up 1-0. Jazz Chisholm makes another error at third base off the McMahon contact. So now you have first and second, 1 out. But fortunately, Stroman's able to limit the damage with a strikeout to Rogers and then a line out to Aaron Judge in right field or in center field. So he escapes it, no worse than 1-0. Does give up 3 runs on the top of the fourth, or 1 run on the top of the fourth with the Yankees up 3 at the time. He gives up an RBI single to Romo to make it 4-2 Yankees. And then top 5, Stroman with he gets a quick 2 outs and then he struggles getting that last out. He walks Doyle. Blake comes out to mound visit, and then McMahon rips an RBI double off of a cutter up and in at 88 miles an hour. So that makes it 4-3 Yankees. And his day was done after 5. He threw 97 pitches, 25 sinkers, 20 slurves. Got some good strikeouts with the sinker and slurve. Those 2 pitches were working very effectively for him. 18 cutters in this game. He couldn't locate the cutter. It was either out of the zone or over the heart of the plate. So the cutter was a tough pitch for him today. He threw 18 sliders, 14 split, and then 1 of his pitches registered as a 4-seam, and then 1 registered as a curve. But yeah, he was fine, and Stroman continues to be fine. Like, I think he's been everything as advertised. He's keeping you in games for 5 innings, give or take an out. That's what he's been doing, right? And I'm fine with that. He's a perfect number 5 at $18 million. That's exactly what I want him to do. He's doing everything I expected him to do. I don't want him in my October rotation. I don't think he has good enough stuff to give me any confidence in October. But he does have the experience. He's got a pretty decent resume in October, so we'll see. But I prefer 4 other guys before I go to him. And the bullpen goes 4 innings, no runs, 3 strikeouts. Canely pitched an inning and a third. He's on fire. No runs. He has the 1-out walk in the 7th, but Cousins comes in and escapes the inning for him. And then Cousins ends up going 2/3 of an inning, no runs. Continues to do his job. That 2-seamer running in on the right-hander, complemented with the slider breaking away to follow up. That's just filthy sequencing. And he did that more. And he's just such an effective pitcher with that 2-seam slider combo. Weaver got an inning, no runs, 1 walk. Meza got an inning, no runs, a hit. The Yankee bats in this game exploded. 10 runs on 12 hits, 5 home runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and they were 4 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Versus Gomber, they scored 4 runs in 6 innings. Bottom of the first, the Yanks are down 1-0. Judge hits his 50th home run, his first of the game, off the end of the bat. Makes it 2-1 Yankees. Bottom 2, Torres and Soto with back-to-back RBI base hits, 4-1 Yankees. Bottom 5, the Yankees threaten, but they can't score. You have Soto and Judge walk, and then Stanton picks up a base hit to load the bases with 1 out. That's when the game is delayed, because during that swing, the bat broke and it hit the umpire. I think we got an update that says he's going through concussion protocol. He's not going to ump games for a week, but it seems like things are heading in a positive direction, so that's good. Home plate umpire seems to be okay. Jazz Chisholm strikes out, and then Volpe with the weak rounder to shortstop ends the inning. But the Yankees do get to the Colorado bullpen later for 6 runs in 2 innings. Against Criswell in the 7th, they do exactly what is going to help them win a championship if they win one this year. The Yankees' idea of Soto, Judge, Stanton was everything you got in this inning, because Soto, Judge, and Stanton go back to back to back for home runs in the bottom of the 7th to make it 7-3. Magical moment. The stadium went nuts. All these influencers and icons behind home plate. You got Spike Lee, you got Lil Mo Mozzarella. You got these people going nuts behind home plate that you see on the internet. But the fans going wild. And the Yankees get 3 more in the bottom of the 8th when Verdugo and LeMahieu pick up back-to-back base hits to make it 1st and 3rd with 1 out versus Gilbert. And then Torres goes deep for a 3-run home run, his first in over a month, to make it 10-3 Yankees. So Torres goes 2 for 4, homer, walk, 4 RBIs. Soto goes 2 for 4, a home run, a walk, 2 RBIs. Stanton goes 2 for 3 with the homer, hit by pitch, and RBI. Verdugo 2 for 4, LeMahieu 2 for 4. Good to see those two swing the bat better lately. And then Judge 2 for 4, 2 more home runs, a walk, 2 RBIs. Let's talk about that guy. Let's do it. And we'll do that as soon as we get back from break here on BD4. Stay with us.
You can follow us on social media as well. On Instagram, we're at BD4Pod and at Rob J. Carbone. On X, we're at BD4Pod and at RJCBD4. And on Facebook, we're BD4.
All right. Welcome back to the show. Episode 704 of BD4. I appreciate you all tuning in. And let's talk about this man, Aaron Judge, because I'm going to tip my cap that I'm not wearing at the moment to Aaron Judge. Tipping my cap to the captain for another impeccable, incredible, I was going to say both at the same time, and it came out as impeccable. Another impeccable series. That home run, the 0-2 pitch that he goes for and gets the end of the bat that he's able to take deep just stunned me. I mean, he's doing shit that stuns you every night, but at the same time it doesn't, because you have to respect how great he is. But you look at his season numbers now, and if you're watching on the screen on YouTube or Spotify, if you're watching, you see it. I mean, those are the series numbers, but you're going to see in a sec the season numbers as we go to 129 games played this year. He's batting .333 with a .465 on base, a .736 slugging, a .1201 OPS, 51 home runs, 122 RBIs, 106 walks. It is August. It's August 26th. And he's got those numbers, which is an incredible... That's... If Judge didn't play the remaining 31 games, whatever we got left, he's gonna win the... That's an MVP stat line. He's got a month of baseball left. A month's worth of games left. The fact that he's going to be going for 60-something homers again, and he's doing it while batting .333, are you shitting me? Remember the funny-ass Bobby Witt debates that were funny to begin with and never should have been debates to begin with? Crazy. 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 He's to do it like if he was... Remember 270s Judge? 280 Judge? He's doing this at .333. This would be an incredible season at 270, 280. And he's getting on base .465. He could get on base twice in a game and it either won't move or it'll even go down. Like if he's 2 walks and 5 plate appearances, that's going to go down. He's slugging .736. 736. That's... What is league average? In the low 4s? That's higher than the average OPS. And his OPS is lapping the 1000s. He got to the 1000s, and now he's lapping it. He's at 1201. It's so stupid, these numbers that he's putting up. And he's probably going to break his record. The 62 is probably in jeopardy. 51, so he needs 11 to tie. He's back on pace. Currently, he's on pace for 63. So I think he's going to do it. And would anybody be shocked if he could touch 70? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen this year, but like at one point in his career, would you be shocked? The guy is getting better. He's better than he was 2 years ago when he got 62. And he's better by a lot. Like he's beat that season by a ton statistically. It's so funny. This guy's putting up video game numbers. Usually when people say video game numbers, they exaggerate. These are video game numbers. Not for me, because I'm fucking horrible in Road to the Show. But these are ridiculous numbers. You're not going to see numbers like this again. Unless it's from this guy. These are numbers you don't see from guys. This is a generational talent. You're not going to get Judges often. It's you may not see another one for 100 years. As good as players are getting today, hard to say that you're going to see another one of these guys. So Judge has been remarkable, and I love the fact that he's just not chasing this year a lot. He's not chasing much out of the zone. He's got a career low 19% chase rate, which means swinging at balls. The league average is 29%. So he's making tons of contact inside the zone. His K rate on the season is 23%, which league average is 22%. Really solid to see that. I think last year, Judge's K rate was in the 30% or close. He hasn't struck out since the Little League game. So knock on wood, but it's been a bunch of games in a row now without that. He's been really good. He's making a lot of contact. He's barreling the ball every time. That's what happens when all you do is hit bombs. And so he's got 15. I've tipped my cap to him 15 times this season which leads the Yankees. So, Aaron Judge, an incredible talent. I don't know what else to say about him, but I just hope this continues in October, because that's one of the keys. One of the keys for this Yankee lineup to thrive in October ball is for Aaron Judge to be Aaron Judge. The big two must hit, right? Judge and Soto, but Judge has to hit. It always starts with your best hitter. Your best hitter is going to have to hit for your team to have any chance. And it goes that way for every team. Every team is going to need their best player to be their best player in order for them to have a chance. Nobody's going to win a World Series with their best player being diabolical. So, you look at the last 3 postseasons for the Yankees, they've been going home early, and a big reason has been because of Judge not hitting. He's batting 143 with a 565 OPS in his last 17 playoff games, which is the last 3 postseasons. So my point is not to make this about Judge being bad, but it's if Judge is just good, I think the Yankees have incredible odds to win a championship. That's my point here. So if Judge is just good Aaron Judge this playoffs, he's a good-ass player this postseason, it's over. Because I think Soto's going to hit. I have so much confidence that Soto's going to hit. He seems like a guy who doesn't get rattled. The fans love him. I think he's going to thrive in Yankee Stadium in the postseason. And I could definitely see Juan Soto having another 2019 postseason that he did when he was 19 with the Washington Nationals. So you got those two. I think it's key that Judge has to hit. Yankees want to have a chance in October. Judge has to start doing his thing. And if he does, it's over. I think Stanton's going to be an X factor. We've talked about this. You add Stanton after 2 and 3, Soto, Judge. You go Soto 2, Judge 3, and you got Stanton cleaning up. My gosh. And the numbers continue to support Stanton as a winning player. I feel like every year we're seeing these splits where, like, it just shows you how good the Yankees are when Stanton starts. And this year they've got a 667 win percentage in 84 games where Stanton started, which means when he doesn't start or play, the Yankees have a 447 win percentage in 47 games. So he's been impactful on the season. His OPS is 800. He's got a chance to hit 30 home runs this year, which after last season, what we got, I thought he was washed up and finished. I think a lot of us did. This is a huge win. So he's going to be an X factor for me. He has a 963 playoff OPS. And the way people talk about him, you'd think he'd be, one of the worst playoff performers ever. At the end of the day, that's all I really care about. Show up for me in the 1 month that truly matters. And he's done that a couple times, man. He's had some good playoff rounds for the Yankees. 2020, he had a good wild card round again when he won 3 for 4. He had 7 RBIs last postseason to lead the team with, he's had some good playoff rounds. He hits well with runners in scoring position. He's a lefty masher, which would help this Yankee lineup if all 3 are clicking. Soto, Judge, Stanton. Stanton's key for lefty pitching because he's a notorious lefty masher. And the Yankees this year have struggled against left-handed pitching. So that's another key. They've got to figure out how to win games against lefties. But I think you get Stanton hitting like he's been. Again, with Judge doing his thing and Soto right there, good night. And, again, I'm not saying, yes, you need some depth. But I think the Yankees have depth. I think Austin Wells is a good contributor. You're going to tell me he hasn't been hitting? Jazz Chisholm, you're going to tell me he hasn't been hitting? I trust both those guys to hit. I think Volpe's been struggling, but he's got upside. He's capable. Dominguez, hopefully he's on that playoff roster. I could see him having some good postseasons. We'll see what Torres does. He's had some good playoffs. He's been struggling the last couple, though. And if Torres gets hot at the end of the year, continues the momentum that he's on right now, where he's been swinging better, we'll see. But I'm not confident with Gleyber Torres. I'm not going to lie. Cabrera. I like Cabrera. Cabrera's had some big moments already for the Yankees. The Cleveland home run. So I think the Yankees are very capable. Their lineup's very potent if we're talking October success. I think obviously Boone has to plug in the right guys. But I think it's going to start with Aaron Judge. If number 99, the captain, is hitting, I think we'll be okay offensively. I know I'm jumping ahead. It's August 26th. But I when we get to this time of year where everybody's, scoreboard watching and standings watching, and I just start thinking, I start envisioning October Yankees baseball. I'm in the bleachers with, hundreds of other Yankees fans in the bleachers and just going nuts. I can't wait. 50,000 fans. Just, oh man, I can't wait to go to games this October. I can't wait to, have these watch parties at home that we have some people over. October Yankees baseball is my favorite thing in the world. So this is the time of year where I start teasing myself and thinking about it. But let's go and let's reel it back in. Let's reel it back in because we have to salute two other guys, and we're gonna go to the mound. And I'm going to tip my cap that I'm not wearing to Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon looked good on Friday. In Game 1 of the series, 6 innings, no runs, 4 hits, a walk, 5 strikeouts, 102 pitches in the win. It wasn't perfect. Certainly grinded. He had some trouble with slider location. Some more trouble finishing batters off, a lot of foul balls and deep counts, which seems to be his problem. But he got through 6. 102 pitches, he got through 6. He was very even this time around with his 4-seam and slider. Usually he's fastball dominant, slider's his secondary. He threw 48 4-seamer, 38 slider. I thought he had a good fastball. I thought he got a lot of strikeouts, a lot of strikes with the slider. And then the tertiary, he went 16 changeup, 10 curve, and he was working both of those pitches to righties very effectively. And so he continues to look good for the Yankees. His last 7 starts, Carlos Rodon has a 2.87 ERA across 37 2/3 innings, 48 strikeouts, a 199 opponent average, and a 276 opponent on base. So he's been good. The ERA on the season for Rodon is down to 4.16. I would love for that to get into the 3s before the season ends. He's got 6 more starts. So if there's one thing you could say Rodon has definitely done this year, it's been making every start, eating innings, right, being durable. After struggling with injury last year, he had to ramp up again. No spring training, and he had a rough year. But he comes back this year, and he's not the guy we paid for. I'm always going to stand by. He hasn't been yet the guy we paid for, but he's had a solid season. And he has a chance to turn this into to get some Yankees fans on his side, at least. So good for Carlos Rodon. He needs to keep this up. Because I'm still not really, I don't trust him. He's a question mark for me in October. But, hey, this is the 9th time I'm tipping my cap to him, so he's doing something right. And then let's go to the bullpen. Luke Weaver. I'm going to go to Luke Weaver for pitching 2 clean innings. 2 innings this series in 2 games. No runs, 3 strikeouts, a couple walks, 40 pitches, got a hold. And he's been good, man. Luke Weaver's been good. He's fun. He's got that changeup that he likes to throw away to the lefty. He's now 4-3 with a 3.21 ERA. He's been so solid. Limits base runners. He's got a .94 whip. So I like the job Luke Weaver's done. And this is his 7th salute of the season. So good for Luke Weaver. And I think that's really it regarding this series. I think we spoke about everything we need to speak about. Coming up next for the Yankees, tomorrow they start a series with the Washington Nationals. They will be going to D.C., so a quick trip for the Yankees. They're probably already in D.C. as I'm speaking. But they're in Washington for 3 games. The Nationals are a 4th place team at 59-72. It's a .450 win percentage. They're not a good team at all. This is a very bad team that the Yankees need to sweep. Just like they probably should have swept this Rockies team. Can they sweep this team, please? Like, they need a sweep. It's been a while since the Yankees have had a sweep. So, this is a Washington team who, they don't really have an identity. Like, they're not good at anything. Like, they're 18th in runs scored. They're 22nd in OPS. They're 11th in batting average. But they're 30th in home runs, dead last. They have a couple good young players. Luis Garcia, good young lefty bat, middle infielder. CJ Abrams, good young middle infielder. Both of them are having solid seasons. But that's kind of it. It's kind of all they have in their lineup right now. Lane Thomas is gone. Jesse Winker went to the Mets. And you look at their pitching, they're 23rd in ERA, 22nd in their rotation ERA, 19th in their bullpen. They don't have much. Like, they're trying. I don't know. They're going all left-handed pitchers against the Yankees this week. Tomorrow it's Cortez versus Parker. Tuesday it's Cole versus Corbin, and then Wednesday it's Rodon versus Gore. So, don't know how much Wells is going to play. You could set the over-under on that at 1.5. Hopefully he does play because these are not good pitchers. Patrick Corbin has been a horrendous contract for that team. Goodness gracious. So, that's a big opportunity right there. The Yankees have the Nationals, a team they should sweep. And then you got Baltimore, who just lost tonight, off tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, they start a 3-game set in LA against the Dodgers. So, Dodgers have been playing good ball lately. Baltimore is still kind of up and down. Things continue to go the way they've been. This is a really good chance for the Yankees to finally, and I say finally, get some breathing room at the top of the division. Because it seems like for months now, it's been 1 game, a half game, 1.5 games tops. It's just been that small margin. So the Yankees finally have a really, really good opportunity here to gain some ground. But they haven't really, taken advantage of the soft August schedule like they should be. But hopefully that starts this week. Folks, that's it. We're going to head to our final break, get back and wrap this up with our trivia in about a minute. Stay with us.
If you're interested in our website, just go to www.bd4blog.com. You can subscribe to our blog on there right on the front page. Just like on the podcast, we cover Yankees, Knicks, and MMA. Also on our website are the links to the different platforms for the podcast. Thanks so much.
Studio 69 Productions is a podcast production agency created by Leo Rodriguez to allow content creators to market their podcast. It's an online platform that will market your podcast or any other project that you're working on. Get in touch with Leo Rodriguez from Studio 69 Productions. You can find Studio 69 Productions on Instagram at Studio69NJ. Studio 69 Productions, where dreams are heard and born.
Thanks for listening to BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA, Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion.
Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to episode 704 of the podcast. I appreciate you all tuning in to BD4. You're watching BD4 on YouTube. Maybe you're listening to BD4 on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So wherever you are tuning in, I appreciate it. But yes, BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. Don't forget to share these episodes on social media. Download this episode. If you want to follow us on social media, you can also do that. You know where to find us. Folks, let's wrap this up with our trivia. Okay. So for this episode, our NYY NYK MMA trivia question of the day is, which Yankees manager holds the major league record of 5 different stints managing the same team? This might be an easy one. Which Yankees manager holds the major league record of 5 different stints managing the same team? I think everybody knows the answer to this one. Thanks to George. Which Yankees manager holds the major league record of 5 different stints managing the same team? That's our trivia here in episode 704. And that's our episode, folks. Appreciate you all tuning in. Again, the Yankees win 2 out of 3 against the Rockies at home. Using the long ball. A lot of home runs. They hit 8 home runs in the series. Limited the Rockies to just 2 in the series. So the Yankees did their job. And they will be heading to Washington, D.C. They're probably there now as I speak to take on the Nationals for 3. So, folks, I appreciate you all tuning in. That is all we have for episode 704. I will see you in episode 705 when we're talking Yankees Nationals. That episode should be out Thursday. So I'll see you then. Later, folks. This episode was brought to you by Anchor.
Hey there! If you stayed the entire way through, we thank you immensely for it. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and that you come back for the next episode real soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, download these episodes, and share them with your friends as well. BD4 is a 5-star podcast simply because of you. And we'd like to keep it that way. Have a wonderful day. Go Yankees and go Knicks!